How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Blade Runner Black Lotus. This is the animated series from Adult Swim and Crunchyroll. This is Season 1, Episode 10, and this one's entitled Clair De Lune. Now, if that name sounds familiar, it's the name of a classical piece of music, and I'm pretty sure you guys have probably heard it before. You can go to YouTube and look up someone playing it on the piano, and it will probably ring a bell. Anyway, this is from January 15th/16th, 2022, depending on if it came out before or after midnight in your time zone. This is directed by Kenji Kamiyama and Shinji Aramaki, and stars Will Yun Lee as Joseph, and this is a Joseph bottle episode, which is pretty fun. If you guys remember my review for the last episode, Episode 9, I said Episode 9 really did feel like a season finale, and I really wondered what they were going to do for the last 4 episodes. But this episode says, we have plenty to do. The first 2/3 of this episode is a Joseph bottle episode. It's an origin story for the character. It's a really good origin story. Back when Officer Davis had her bottle episode, Episode 8, The Davis Report, this is what I was hoping it would be. I was hoping it would be something where we got to understand the character more and really focus on one character. Sadly, with Officer Davis's episode, it just turned out to be a clip show. But with Joseph's episode, it's a proper origin story, and I really did like it. But the last third, Ellie is questioning her memory. She's thinking about the day at the pool, and she goes, I need to find my boyfriend, and this will immediately lead to some interesting revelations. A few revelations I could definitely see coming, but then a few that I didn't. A few were a big surprise and really have me interested where those last 3 episodes are going to be, but also the end introduces a new character. I won't say who this new character is, but the new character looks pretty cool and is probably going to be a big enemy for Elle to fight. So, looks like a good rivalry, something new and interesting, and I'm hoping this new character is as cool as they look, because it's a cool promise for something in the future, and I'm hoping it all pans out. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk a bit about the plot. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points and make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what the episode's about. So without further ado, let's get into some of the details. We open up with Ellie waking up from a nightmare. She's had memories of all the crazy stuff that has happened to her in the series so far. A lot of, all the kills that she's had to do, the doll hunt, all the crazy traumatic stuff is flashing through her head and wakes her up. And Joseph comes over and says, hey, are you doing okay? I have bad memories too. Now he comes over, and this is kind of interesting. Elle's bed is just set up in his living room, which I thought was kind of funny. This is the Blade Runner universe. You probably don't have the luxury of a guest bedroom. So when Elle comes over, just put a bed in the living room. She can sleep there. But anyway, they start to talk about bad memories. And Joseph says, yeah, I have lots of bad memories too. That's why I drink to forget. And Ellie goes, yeah, didn't you tell me that no matter how much I drank, I could never forget because replicants have perfect memories? And Joseph's like, yeah, you guys do. Sorry about that. And he, in turn, shares a story about his bad memories, and that's where we get the flashback. We get the origin story, and although we get every now and then, not too often, sometimes we do get cutbacks to the present, but for the most part, the first 2 acts are going to be in the past. And we jump to Joseph in the past. He's a lot younger. And he's in a nightclub. And he's listening to this beautiful woman on stage in a red dress. And she's singing. This character's name is Celine. And he's watching her, and he goes over to the payphone. And the payphone, it's like an old-timey payphone, but there's things like he has to put a card into it, and it has a view screen. So it's a piece of future technology that feels like it was made in the 1980s, which is a lot of the tech in Blade Runner. Crazy future stuff, but also feels like it's made in the 1980s. And we'll get into this again. There's a piece of tech at the end of the episode that's similar in that regard. But anyway, he calls his boss, and his boss goes, "Oh, are you finally having trouble? We sent you to go and take out 10 replicants. Was that too much for you?" But we all know Joseph. He has the high score on replicant kills. And Joseph says, "No, it's not too much for me. In fact, I've killed 9 out of the 10 already, and I think I'm about to finish the last one." So he hangs up the phone, finishes the call with his boss, and goes to the singer's dressing room. And the singer, quite surprisingly, knows what's up. She doesn't try to hide it, and she doesn't try to run. She says, "Hello, detective." And Joseph's like, "You know who I am. Why are you not scared? Why are you not running?" And she says, "Well, replicants don't live that long. I don't have too terribly much time left, and if you're gonna kill me, it's not really stealing that much time." And then she says, and this is a very interesting thing, is she's curious what comes next. So I really find her psychology interesting. She's managed to cope with not having a long lifespan, and maybe even shorter if a Blade Runner gets her. And she also is thinking, okay, if I'm gonna die, will there be an afterlife? What comes next? And she's like, if you kill me now, I just get to find out sooner what the next part is. So I thought this was an interesting take that we hadn't really seen done before in the Blade Runner universe, is a replicant that's made peace with dying. But she quite quickly sees that she's moved Joseph a little bit, and says, "Hey, why don't you come see me sing again tomorrow?" And Joseph agrees. So every day for like a week, he's coming down to the nightclub, he's seeing her sing, and he just every day can't bring himself to kill her, and he starts to fall in love with her. This is a romance story. But after a week, good old Marlowe shows up. Marlowe, the replicant from the future, who referenced that he knew Joseph way back when. Well, now we're way back when, and we get to see them when they're both Blade Runners. And Marlowe says, "Hey, look, you're not in trouble yet, but people are starting to talk and wonder why it's taking you so long to kill a replicant that you said you pretty much had a week ago." And he says, "You're not in trouble yet, but that's why I'm here to tell you that if you're not careful, you might be." And so, of course, Marlowe is going to ruin the fun, and Joseph has to decide what he's going to do with this replicant, and also be weary of what Marlowe might do with this replicant, you know. So it's going to play out in a very interesting and unsuspected way. And I do want to say, this story, lots and lots of elements of classic film noir. You know, the beautiful singer is a common reoccurring character. The woman that's going to throw the detective's life in a completely unexpected direction, that's a classic film noir character. But you do get lots of the tropes, and Blade Runner definitely did have film noir elements in it. But also, this story does feel a little bit like the Rachel story from the original Blade Runner movie. Now, it doesn't go in the same way. It's just, you know, the idea of a Blade Runner falling in love with a replicant is something that we've seen in the Blade Runner movies before, but they take the story and go down a different path with it, so don't worry, there is new and unique ideas here. And overall, a really fun episode. I really did like it. It felt very Blade Runner-y. You know, the show has really grown on me since the beginning, but I will still acknowledge that it definitely feels a little more pop than Blade Runner normally does. But here, it feels actually more classic than Blade Runner normally does. But an interesting story. One thing I will say is I don't think, maybe I missed it, but I don't think they told us what year this was. So I don't know how far in the past this was. Joseph definitely looks way younger. They gave him a whole new model and stuff. But Marlo looks pretty much the same. I guess we could do the math. This is one of the replicants with a 4-year lifespan, and they were eventually banned, so this could only be so many different replicants, only so many different years. So we could try to do the math and figure out how late this could be, but yeah, I am kind of wondering how long ago this was. But anyway, I won't spoil exactly how the story ends, but we do jump back to the present, and Elle, in her head, starts to think about the day at the pool, and rather than just remembering it, she is inserting herself into her past memory, and she talks to her memory of her boyfriend and says, "Who were you? Was this real? And if you're real, why haven't you come and found me?" And that's one of the things, you know, like when we saw the pool in the doll hunt episode, it seemed really run down. So I'm wondering, you know, was this even the same Ellie, you know? So it is kind of curious there, and I am wondering what's going on. But she eventually reaches the determination that this is a real memory. She's decided it is. And if this is a real memory, why haven't you found me? Well, maybe he can't. Maybe he's in some position where he can't get to her, and if so, she has to go find him. So she has a mission again, find her boyfriend. And she tells Joseph, "I need to find someone. I don't want to kill them, but I need to find them. They're important to me." And Joseph says, "Hey, wait here for a second." And he goes to see Doc Badger downstairs. And Doc Badger's like, "Hey, what's going on? I've been left out of a lot of this." Which I do like the show addressed, you know, like at the beginning I thought Doc Badger was going to be like the second lead of the series, which turned out to be Joseph instead. But now we get Doc Badger going, "Hey, I haven't really been in the show for a while, what's up?" And he says, Joseph goes, "No time to explain now, I just need to borrow this, I'll bring it right back." And he gives Ellie a machine to help them on their quest. And I won't spoil exactly what this machine does, but it does something, a crazy future technology that we don't have today. But at the same time, because this is Blade Runner, it feels like it was made in the 1980s. And I do love that this machine is doing something miraculous, but at the same time it's doing it very slowly. It like takes Ellie all night to use it, and you can tell it's a huge pain in the butt to use this machine. But at the same time, it's quite fantastic, you know, so I really do love that dichotomy of crazy future technology, but it feels like it's made in the 80s. So that's really cool. Now, there are some revelations with this episode, and I won't spoil, but like I said at the beginning, some of them I predicted. Some of them really threw me off guard. And there is a new character, and I can't wait to see what that character does or how they clash with Ellie there. So I am curious what's going to happen. So we have the boyfriend we need to figure out what's going to happen with, the new character, and all that mystery, and Marlo still running around out there. There is a bit to do, so I can kind of see how the last 3 episodes are going to shape up. And overall, I'm really excited for this series and where it's going. This is one of those shows, it definitely has grown on me since the beginning. Because in the beginning, you're like, they're all plastic, and this is a little weird, it's not Blade Runner. But at the same time, it kept me around, and now that I'm on episode 10, I'm like, yeah, it's not as good as the movies, but I like it, I don't care. So this is definitely one of those shows that has grown on me over the episodes, and now I'm really starting to look forward to it, and I really do enjoy it. But anyway, can't wait for episode 11. That'll be there next week, and I'll definitely check it out. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Blade Runner playlist, where you can find my reviews for all the past episodes, as well as a lot of the comics. The comics, by the way, trade paperback for Blade Runner 2029 Volume 2 is supposed to come out in early February. I'm hoping I can pick that up. That looks like it'll be really fun. But anyway, I also have reviews for the first movie and Kurt Russell and Soldier. So there's a lot in this Blade Runner playlist. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.